Hello there, welcome to the Sleepy Knowledge Channel. You close your eyes, and the world begins to blur at the edges. The hum of the day softens, replaced by the hush of thought and the slow rhythm of your breath. Reality feels thinner now, like gauze touched by moonlight. You drift toward that gentle place between waking and sleep. A place where dreams whisper softly and truth becomes mist. Here, you begin to wonder, what if the space between dreaming and waking isn't a line, but a veil that shimmers in both directions? As you rest in that stillness, you feel how fragile this thing called reality can be. The sounds you once knew fade into distant echoes. The texture of your bed, the scent of the night air. Everything starts to melt into a single, glowing thought. Your mind paints pictures of what might be real, but they move like water, never still. You imagine yourself standing between two mirrors, reflections stretching endlessly, each one a little softer, a little dimmer, a little dreamier than the last. In that infinite reflection, you begin to sense how the mind builds its world. Every color, every shape, every word is drawn not from the outside, but from within you. The brain, floating quietly in the dark, translates signals into a symphony of experience. Light never truly touches it. Sound never truly enters it. And yet, it creates entire universes, forests of memory, oceans of emotion, skies made of thought. You realize that what feels solid is a story your senses tell each other softly, endlessly. You remember how, in dreams, the world feels real too. You can taste, touch, fall, and fly. You can cry and laugh and wake up with your heart still racing. And when you awaken, you call it an illusion, a trick of the sleeping mind. But what if the waking world is simply another dream, woven by a mind that hasn't yet opened its eyes? You imagine the stars above you as dreams of light, and yourself as a dream of atoms, all resting in the same cosmic sleep. The line between night and day fades as you drift deeper. Time feels slower here, like honey sliding down the edge of a spoon. You can almost see the space where thoughts dissolve into silence. There, the veil grows thinner still. You sense that everything you've ever known, the laughter, the rain, the stars, the scent of earth after storm, might be woven from the same dream, stuff that shaped your childhood nights. Each heartbeat echoes softly, asking, what is real, if not what we feel? You breathe in, and the air seems to shimmer with possibility. Maybe the waking world and the dream world are not separate realms, but two faces of the same quiet truth. One made of thought, the other made of matter, both endlessly entangled. Scientists call it perception, the brain's endless dance of prediction and sensation. But you call it wonder. You call it the soft curtain that drifts between what is seen and what is felt. You rest beneath it now, weightless, calm, curious. The room around you fades further. You imagine the walls dissolving into starlight, the ceiling stretching into an endless night sky. You feel small, yet infinite, like a single note inside a great, cosmic lullaby. Somewhere, the stars dream of you too. Their light traveling for eons just to touch your eyes. You realize that even the universe could be dreaming, unfolding itself again and again, like breath, like sleep, like love. You drift through this realization gently, not needing to understand, only to feel. Reality bends and sways like tall grass under a soft wind. You begin to see the spaces between thoughts, the silent pauses that hold everything together. In that silence, the veil between dream and waking grows almost transparent. You could step through it at any moment, or simply rest here, where both worlds hum in harmony. As your breathing slows, you notice how each exhale carries you further into the mystery. The soft veil ripples, and for a fleeting moment, you sense everything as one, the dreamer, the dream, and the dream itself. There is no need to wake, no need to sleep. Only the gentle drift, the tender blur, the endless shimmer between both worlds. You imagine the universe not as a vast empty space, but as a quiet reflection. Every star, every drifting cloud of dust, feels like a thought inside an endless mind. The edges of galaxies blur like watercolor on paper, soft and weightless. You drift among them, weightless too, as though your breath and their light are made of the same hush. Somewhere in that silence, a whisper arises, a theory that reality itself might be an illusion. You picture the cosmos as a great hologram, projected from a deeper layer beyond sight. Physicists call it the holographic principle, the strange idea that all the world you touch, taste, and see could be the echo of information imprinted on a distant cosmic surface. It feels like imagining your life as a reflection on a rippling pond, perfectly vivid yet not quite solid. The stars shimmer like silver letters on an invisible page, each one carrying the code of what is. You drift closer, as though the universe itself might reveal its secret texture if you breathe softly enough. The deeper you float, the more you sense that everything, atoms, planets, yourself, might be patterns in light. Not light you can see, but something purer, a vibration older than time. You remember how holograms are made. A single beam of light split in two, one half touching an object, the other recording its pattern. When they meet again, the interference creates depth, illusion, and form. Perhaps the universe is made in the same way, an ancient recording of existence itself, still shimmering in the dark. You imagine that every atom you know is both real and not real, a flicker of probability. When you reach out, you never touch matter directly. Electrons repel one another before they meet. Every contact is an invisible distance, a tiny cushion of energy that keeps everything apart, yet binds everything together. So when you rest your hand upon your heart, what you feel is not touch, but the meeting of fields, gentle and unseen. And you wonder, if everything is vibration, then maybe touch, sound, and sight are the universe remembering itself. As you drift deeper, the stars around you begin to dissolve into patterns of light. Each one becomes a spiral, then a wave, then a gentle pulse. You sense how the smallest particles, quarks, photons, and electrons, hum together in quiet harmony, forming the illusion of solidity. Reality, you realize, may be music made visible. Each vibration, a note in an eternal symphony, played across the fabric of time. You imagine yourself floating through this soundless song, each heartbeat sensing with the rhythm of creation. When a star dies, its light spreads across the holographic sheet of space, time like ripples through water. Those ripples may still sing in frequencies we cannot yet hear, echoing softly through your bones. The air, the room, even your breath, are made of those faint echoes, ancient songs of starlight and distance. And as you listen closely, you begin to feel them resonating gently within you. Somewhere, scientists study these whispers, cosmic background radiation, the faint afterglow of the beginning. It hums quietly through all of space, a remnant of the first light, stretched thin by time. You imagine it as a lullaby from the dawn of everything, still humming as you drift to sleep. Each note carries the memory of the Big Bang, like a soft heartbeat that never stopped. You are part of that heartbeat, folded within its glow, breathing in rhythm with the universe. The thought comforts you. The idea that everything you see is not deception, but art. Reality as a projection does not make it less beautiful. It makes it sacred. Every reflection hints at something deeper, something unseen, yet utterly real. When you look at the night sky, you are not looking out, but in. into the endless light folded around your mind. You feel this truth not as logic, but as warmth, spreading softly through the quiet space of your being. The galaxies continue to turn slowly around you, vast and silent. You drift past threads of light stretching across the void, cosmic filaments connecting clusters like neurons in a sleeping brain. The whole universe begins to look like thought, immense, dreaming thought. Maybe you wonder, the cosmos is conscious too, dreaming itself awake in slow spirals of time. And if that is true, then every shimmer of light might be a moment of awareness, a sigh of creation remembering its name. You feel your breathing slow, your body lighter, your thoughts quieter. Everything begins to blend. Dream and science, you and the stars, sound and silence. The holographic whisper grows softer now, almost lost beneath the rhythm of your pulse. You drift in the glow of unseen light, where distance disappears, and everything folds gently into one luminous dream. You imagine the universe not as chaos, but as a quiet order humming beneath everything. Numbers seem to glow softly in the dark, like stars arranged in hidden constellations. They do not speak loudly, yet they shape everything, from the curve of a leaf to the spiral of a galaxy. You sense their presence in rhythm and repetition, in balance and breath. It feels as if reality itself is written in a calm, infinite language of mathematics. You drift through this invisible code as though floating through a forest of patterns. The air hums with equations, gentle and alive, forming the structure of space itself. Every snowflake whispers symmetry. Every shell carries the echo of a spiral that never ends. You remember how the Fibonacci sequence appears again and again, quietly guiding growth. It feels like nature has been composing music all along, and you have finally started to hear it. As you breathe, you notice the steady beat of your heart. A pulse, a rhythm. It matches the rhythm of planets orbiting suns, of atoms circling their nuclei, of time unfolding softly. Even your breath follows a pattern, like waves resting against the shore, coming and going with measured grace. You imagine the universe breathing with you, exhaling galaxies, inhaling silence. Each inhale and exhale carrying the same calm geometry that binds everything together. Somewhere deep within the calm of space, numbers whisper their truth. They form gravity, the quiet curve that pulls you gently toward the Earth's warm center. They shape light, bending it like silk around the edges of stars. They define the dance of particles so small that no eye could ever see them move. And yet, you feel their order as surely as you feel your own heartbeat. You imagine these equations as ancient rivers flowing through the landscape of the cosmos, each one carving a path, shaping time, space, and matter as they move. The laws of physics become poetry here, soft, deliberate, endless. You can almost hear them, faint and musical, beneath the sound of your own breathing. They remind you that even stillness has rhythm, and even emptiness has design. You think of how light travels, at once a wave and a particle, both music and dust. It moves with mathematical precision, yet with the grace of something alive. In every photon lies the perfect balance between chaos and peace, between freedom and form. You imagine catching a ray of light between your palms, feeling its code vibrate gently in your skin. It hums a pattern you've always known, a pattern that feels like home. As you drift deeper, numbers begin to dissolve into shapes, and shapes into sensations. Circles become orbits. Triangles become mountains. Spirals become the passage of time. You see how geometry isn't drawn. It is everything, invisible yet everywhere. You realize that the same spiral that curls inside a seashell might shape the arms of a galaxy far away. The small and the vast sharing one calm equation, one endless rhythm of creation. In this floating silence, you feel time slow down, its steps perfectly measured. Seconds move like drops of water, falling in precise intervals into the sea of eternity. Even decay has beauty here. Atoms shifting, rearranging, finding new harmony within the flow. Entropy, the quiet drift toward disorder, feels not like loss, but like soft surrender. The universe expands gently, balancing chaos and pattern in an eternal, effortless breath. You picture the earth turning, wrapped in the geometry of night. The moon rises with mathematical grace, its orbit carved by invisible laws that never sleep. Even your dreams unfold with patterns, moments looping, fading, returning again in gentle symmetry. Perhaps you think dreams are part of this same rhythm too, guided by the silent mathematics of thought. The equations that govern light and matter might also hum quietly through your sleeping mind. The deeper you drift, the more you sense the harmony beneath everything. You no longer see equations or symbols, only flow. Patterns woven from calm, infinite reason. You feel the warmth of order, the serenity of precision, the peace of inevitability. And yet, it all feels soft, forgiving, almost tender, as if the universe loves to balance itself gently. You breathe in that balance, letting it fill the space between thoughts, between heartbeats. The quiet mathematics of existence surrounds you now like a soft ocean of meaning. You float in its stillness, carried by unseen formulas written in starlight. Every pattern hums like a lullaby, ancient and patient, unchanging yet alive. You drift within it, feeling smaller than a grain of dust, yet infinite as the sky. The numbers fade into light, the light into sound, the sound into silence. You close your eyes, and the boundary between what you see and what you are begins to fade. Somewhere in the quiet, you sense a mirror, not made of glass, but of awareness itself. You look into it, and the reflection looks back, not as a stranger, but as the very act of seeing. It feels endless, like standing between two mirrors, each reflection folding into the next, without beginning or end. You realize that the mind is both the dreamer and the dream, the observer and the observed. Consciousness hums softly, like wind through distant trees. It does not shout or command, it simply watches, infinite and still. Every thought drifts through it like a cloud over a silver lake, passing but never staying. You imagine that lake stretching through time, reflecting galaxies, forests, and faces. Every shimmer a moment of awareness. Even now, as you breathe, that mirror of consciousness holds everything in gentle balance. Scientists search for the source of this awareness, yet it remains elusive, slippery as mist. The brain, vast and intricate, glows with electrical storms, billions of neurons firing in patterns of light. You imagine them as tiny constellations, each pulse a flicker of understanding, each silence a pause between dreams. But no matter how deep they look, they never find the you that watches. It hides behind its own reflection, like the moon behind a veil of clouds. You drift deeper, into the question of where you end and the world begins. The scent of the air, the sound of your heartbeat, the warmth of your skin. Are they separate from you, or simply parts of the same vast field of experience? Perhaps the world isn't outside at all, but a gentle projection unfolding inside the mirror of mind. Each color, each sound, each touch is a painting the brain creates from signals, turning electricity into beauty. And you, floating in that painting, are both artist and audience, dreamer and dream. Consciousness feels like water, clear, fluid, impossible to hold. You dip your thoughts into it, and ripples spread quietly through the surface. Memories rise and fall like small boats on a calm sea, drifting toward the horizon of forgetfulness. Some boats return, carrying fragments of stories and feelings. Others simply dissolve, leaving only the still reflection of now. As you drift further, the mind begins to slow its dance. Thoughts loosen their grip, and silence moves in like a soft tide. You sense how awareness isn't something you do. It's something you are. It was there before you spoke, before you thought, before you named the stars. It listens to everything without judgment, embracing even the smallest whisper of existence. You imagine consciousness as light filling a darkened room. It doesn't choose where to shine, it simply illuminates all that appears. Emotions, sensations, memories, all flicker briefly under its gentle gaze, then pass into stillness. Even dreams glow within it, fleeting worlds blooming and fading in the same soft radiance. You realize that every living being might share this same luminous core. One light reflected through countless eyes. The boundaries between self and other begin to melt. You can feel the consciousness of trees, the awareness of oceans, the slow perception of mountains. It's as if everything that exists, from atoms to stars, is awake in its own quiet way. The universe itself may be dreaming, each galaxy a thought, each planet a breath in its endless mind. And you, resting here, are part of that dream, a moment of its awareness gently turning inward. The air feels softer now, as though the night itself were alive and listening. Your heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of something larger, something vast and kind. Every cell in your body hums with intelligence, knowing when to heal, when to rest, when to renew. You are not separate from that knowing. You are made of it. The same awareness that watches the stars also watches through your eyes. You drift through this realization like a feather on warm air. Each breath carries you deeper into stillness, where the watcher and the watched become one. You sense that even when you sleep, this awareness does not vanish. It only dreams in softer colors. It listens to your dreams, shaping them like waves against the shore of imagination. And as you float in that gentle light, you begin to feel that the mirror within the mirror might never end. You imagine time not as a river that rushes forward, but as a vast, still lake. Every ripple upon its surface is a moment, spreading softly into eternity. The past, the present, and the future rest together beneath that calm water, unmoving yet alive. You drift above it, weightless, watching seconds dissolve into one another like clouds in slow motion. It feels peaceful to think that time might not move at all. Only you do. The mind, however, loves to count. It builds clocks and calendars, marking the invisible, giving shape to the formless. Each tick of the second hand becomes a heartbeat, each sunrise a reminder that you exist in motion. Yet, beneath that rhythm, there is stillness, a silence that does not care for hours or years. You sense it now, humming beneath every breath, the timeless pause hidden inside every moment. Physicists say that time might not truly flow. In the deepest layers of reality, they say it could be static, an illusion woven by the brain. Einstein once whispered that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubborn illusion. You imagine him watching stars curve light through gravity, realizing that time bends too, soft and elastic. In his universe, every moment already exists. You are merely walking through a frozen garden of events. As you drift through this thought, the stars above begin to slow their motion. Their orbits stretch into soft trails of light, folding into patterns that seem eternal. Perhaps they have always been there, shining all at once, waiting for your eyes to find them. You realize that even light takes time. It travels for ages before it reaches your gaze. When you look at the night sky, you are seeing the past still glowing, patient and bright. you begin to feel that time is not a line, but a spiral. Each loop touches the one before, gently echoing itself in rhythm and pattern. Every choice, every dream, every breath might exist somewhere within that spiral's infinite turns. You imagine walking along it, tracing its path with soft footsteps through the air. Each step vibrates through past and future, resonating in ways you cannot see, but can almost feel. The deeper you drift, the more you sense how the body measures time differently than the mind. Your heartbeat keeps its own rhythm, slower now, steady as a drum in a distant forest. Your cells divide, breathe, and renew themselves in silent cycles, unaware of minutes or years. The brain, meanwhile, weaves memory and anticipation together, creating the feeling of movement. It's not time that passes. It's awareness, flowing gently like light through water. You picture yourself floating through a forest where time does not exist. The leaves neither fall nor grow. The wind neither comes nor goes. Everything simply is, eternal, golden, suspended in perfect stillness. You reach out to touch a leaf, and it hums softly beneath your fingers, alive yet unmoving. It feels like touching a thought that has always been here, waiting to be remembered. Perhaps, you think, time is not something we live in, but something we create as we notice change. The sun moves, shadows shift, your breath rises and falls, and so you call it time. But without change, there would only be silence, the kind that has no beginning or end. In that silence, everything might already be complete, resting together in a single eternal moment. You breathe it in now, this stillness that feels like infinity folded gently inside you. Somewhere in the far reaches of physics, scientists study time like dreamers studying a mirage. They speak of time dilation, of clocks slowing as they near the speed of light. They imagine travelers aging softly while centuries pass outside their ship, reality bending around velocity. You imagine yourself aboard such a vessel, watching the stars freeze into place, timeless and still. The hum of the engine becomes your heartbeat, steady, patient, unchanging amid eternity. The more you float in this thought, the lighter you become. You begin to understand that time is not a cage but a canvas, a way the universe paints movement. Every moment is a brushstroke, delicate and fleeting, yet part of a vast, eternal picture. You are both the painting and the painter, the stillness and the motion, the dream and the dreamer. And as you breathe, that truth settles over you like starlight, soft, infinite, quietly unfolding. The ticking of clocks fades into the distance. You hear instead the rhythm of your own pulse, the flow of your own breath. Seconds blur. Minutes dissolve, hours vanish into gentle quiet. All that remains is the endless now, expanding and contracting like the ocean's tide. You drift there, suspended in its calm shimmer, where time has no edges and no name. You imagine the universe as a quiet stage, wrapped in endless darkness and faint whispers of light. All seems still, but somewhere, in the smallest places imaginable, something delicate begins to move. Tiny particles, the builders of everything, sway gently in invisible rhythms, like dust motes in sunlight. They exist in mystery, neither solid nor certain, appearing only when you look for them. You realize that even the smallest pieces of reality wait for your gaze to come alive. This is the strange wonder of the quantum world, where watching changes what is. You picture a single electron, soft as moonlight, moving through the dark like a forgotten dream. It hums quietly in possibilities, existing everywhere and nowhere at once. But when it feels your attention, it chooses a place, settling into form as if shyly seen. Observation, they say, makes reality bloom. A secret handshake between consciousness and matter. You drift through this unseen realm, where logic bends and time itself loses its straight line. Here, things can be two places at once, dancing between being and not being like flickering candlelight. You imagine these particles as dreamers themselves, half asleep, waking only when awareness touches them. In this gentle twilight of physics, the world feels both magical and precise. It's as if the universe is playing hide and seek with its own reflection. Scientists call it the observer effect, the way reality seems to respond to being watched. Not by thought, but by measurement, by interaction, by contact between energy and awareness. You imagine that every act of seeing is a kind of creation, a small birth of form. When light touches an object, when your eyes find a star, the cosmos completes another circle of recognition. You and the universe become partners in a quiet dance of discovery. You drift deeper into this thought, feeling the weight of nothingness and the softness of everything. Every atom around you vibrates in perfect silence, carrying information from the birth of time itself. Each one remembers where it came from, what it has touched, what it has become. You are made of these same ancient particles, each still shimmering with the same potential. When you breathe, the air that enters you has been through stars, oceans, and dreams. You think about the double-slit experiment, where light passes through two openings and paints waves of possibility. When unseen, it moves like water, free, unpredictable, infinite. But the moment someone looks, the waves collapse, and light chooses one path. It is as though the universe waits for eyes to guide its choices, to steady its dance. You imagine billions of photons shimmering before you, waiting for the next blink to decide where to go. This realization feels gentle, not overwhelming. It doesn't mean that thought alone shapes the cosmos, but that awareness completes its circle. Like moonlight on calm water, perception gives form to what was already waiting. Reality, perhaps, is not separate from you, but braided softly into your noticing. You feel a quiet gratitude for this partnership, fragile, eternal, endlessly mysterious. You float through this realm of probabilities, where uncertainty is not chaos, but freedom. Every possibility hums beneath the surface, like hidden stars behind a veil of mist. The particles do not argue or resist. They flow in patterns of patient balance. They seem to know something you don't, that existence itself is a calm rhythm, not a race. Each moment is simply a vibration in a larger, endless melody. As you drift further, you imagine atoms as tiny solar systems, orbiting in silence and light. Their cores pulse like miniature suns, surrounded by clouds of potential, shimmering in quiet harmony. If you could shrink yourself down small enough, you would see worlds within worlds. Each rotation, each vibration, would be slower than thought yet faster than time. You would see that nothing truly stands still, not even the emptiness between things. Even the vacuum of space, scientists say, is not empty at all. It hums faintly with virtual particles, appearing and vanishing in the blink of an eternity. Like dreams that forget themselves upon waking, they rise and fall without ever being noticed. You imagine this invisible ocean, a sea of beginnings and endings happening all at once. It is from this quiet ocean that stars are born, and from those stars, your awareness feels weightless now, floating among particles that know no boundaries. Every thought, every sensation, is just another pattern in this cosmic field. When you move your hand, the particles respond, whispering through probability, reshaping themselves as you do. You and the world are not separate. You are two ripples on the same endless wave. Each breath you take is both an observation and a creation, a soft reminder that you exist. You begin to wonder if the act of dreaming is another kind of observation. Perhaps As you sleep, your mind explores the same quantum field in different colors. The dreams you see might be echoes of possibilities, the same ones that atoms explore. Every image, every sensation could be a shadow of infinite choices softly painted across your mind. You float within those choices now, surrounded by shimmering maybes that feel like starlight on your skin. The night grows quieter. The boundaries of your thoughts dissolve like mist over a dark lake. Somewhere, deep inside the silence, the particles keep dancing, unaware of your words, but alive in your wonder. They move whether you watch them or not, yet they always wait for your awareness to join them. And as you drift into stillness, you feel the universe watching back, gentle, endless, awake. You imagine yourself floating through the calm expanse of space, where time no longer hurries. The stars seem to breathe slowly, like living hearts scattered across the velvet of eternity. Each pulse of light carries a story older than memory, older than the dust beneath your feet. You drift among these silent witnesses of creation, where even the faintest glow feels infinite. There is no sound here, only the rhythm of your breath blending with the hum of the cosmos. As you glide deeper, you begin to sense the quiet order hidden beneath the stars. Invisible forces cradle everything: gravity's soft pull, magnetism's delicate thread, and the whisper of light itself. Each one moves in balance, shaping galaxies, stars, and the fragile cradle of your own world. You realize that the universe is not chaos, but a vast and graceful orchestra of energy. Every motion, every flicker, every breath participates in a harmony too vast for thought alone. You imagine the great cosmic web, filaments of galaxies stretching like glowing threads through infinite dark. They twist and shimmer, forming patterns that mirror neurons inside your own dreaming mind. The same geometry that guides stars may whisper through your thoughts, unseen but deeply familiar. It feels as though the universe is thinking, and you are part of that thought. Your awareness drifts between the stars like a sigh of starlight returning home. Far below, your planet spins, a fragile marble floating in the ocean of forever. Clouds swirl like brushstrokes of white across deep blue, carrying the scent of distant rain. You imagine the gravity beneath your body, pulling you softly toward the Earth's warm heart. That invisible embrace holds oceans, mountains, and the rhythm of every living pulse. Even in sleep, gravity reminds you that you belong, not separate, but gently tethered to everything. You drift further into the thought of light itself, ancient, patient, endlessly traveling. Every beam you see tonight began its journey long before your first breath. It crossed emptiness for millions of years, just to touch your eyes for a moment. In that instant, a star and a soul share a quiet meeting in the dark. You realize that to see the night sky is to touch time made visible. The light that left a star before life began on Earth now glimmers softly in your gaze. Each photon is a messenger, carrying stories from the beginning of everything you know. You imagine holding one in your hand, weightless, silent, yet filled with memory. It hums faintly with the same energy that builds suns and dreams alike. You close your eyes, and the glow seems to linger behind your lids like a secret flame. Around you, space bends, not sharply, but smoothly, like a river turning in slow motion. Gravity curves it, drawing matter into soft spirals, shaping the pathways of stars. Einstein once imagined it so. Space not as emptiness, but as a living fabric that can stretch and sigh. You can almost feel it under you now, soft as silk, rippling beneath your drifting thoughts. Each ripple carries the echo of a planet's orbit, a comet's arc, or a heartbeat among constellations. You breathe slower, as though your chest moves with the same rhythm as the stars. Your body, though still, feels vast, made of the same stardust that hums beyond the sky. Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, the old familiar elements, flow through you like memory. They are ancient travelers, born in exploding suns, carried through galaxies, and now resting within you. You are not apart from the cosmos, you are its soft echo in human form. The thought brings a quiet warmth that spreads through your body like moonlight over water. You imagine the Milky Way above you, its arms curling gently, slow and eternal. Billions of stars drifting together, bound not by touch, but by invisible gravity's tender thread. It is both infinite and intimate, a cosmic lullaby hummed across aeons, never needing words. As you listen, your heartbeat seems to find its rhythm within that same silent song. You begin to wonder if time itself feels this peace. Perhaps, beyond our clocks and seconds, it moves like a tide, endless, unhurried, alive. In the vastness of the cosmos, time becomes soft, folding over itself like a blanket of light. You float in it, neither ahead nor behind, simply suspended between what was and what will be. Here, there is only the slow pulse of existence, breathing through galaxies and through you. You imagine the first atoms forming, cooling from the heat of the newborn universe. They joined, merged, and became clouds of gas. Stars in waiting, galaxies in rehearsal. Those same atoms still dance today, still finding new forms, still learning to shine. You feel them within you, quiet and patient, remembering their long journey across creation. You realize you have always been part of something that never truly began and never truly ends. The night deepens. The stars shimmer more faintly now, not dimming, but blending into the fabric of your thoughts. You float through that darkness with a calm that feels older than memory itself. The space around you hums gently, like a heartbeat that belongs to everything and nothing. You let yourself drift, unhurried, through that endless field of quiet light and breathing shadows. Somewhere, a comet passes, leaving a trail that sparkles like a dream dissolving into sleep. It does not rush or burn away, it simply glides, following the soft mathematics of eternity. You imagine yourself as that comet, free of gravity, carried by invisible hands of light. You turn slowly, spiraling through calm darkness, never lost, only wandering in gentle surrender. And as you drift, the stars seem to watch you. Patient, silent, infinite. You drift through the soft edges of thought, where the world begins to feel less solid. Shapes blur, sounds stretch. And what you once called real begins to ripple like a reflection on still water. It's here that your mind begins to wonder. What if reality is not what it seems? What if the universe, with all its stars and colors and textures, is only one layer of an endless dream? You close your eyes, and suddenly the surface of existence feels delicate, almost transparent, as if light itself is whispering secrets beneath it. You imagine touching a wall that dissolves like mist beneath your fingertips. Atoms, once imagined as tiny hard marbles, reveal themselves as empty space, their energy dancing like slow fireflies. Every solid thing, a mountain, a heartbeat, a drop of rain, is mostly nothing, held together by invisible forces. You can almost sense it now. The shimmering emptiness that gives shape to everything you know. It hums gently, like a cosmic breath, filling the silence between stars and the stillness inside your chest. As you float deeper into this thought, you picture the fabric of reality as a great ocean. Every wave is a vibration, a pattern, a tiny ripple in the sea of existence. You, too, are one of these waves, rising for a moment, shining briefly, then returning to the calm below. It's peaceful there, where beginnings and endings melt into one continuous motion. There is no separation, only rhythm, the soft pulse of the universe breathing itself into being. Your thoughts drift toward the mind itself, the strange lens through which you see this dream. Neurons flicker, connecting in patterns more intricate than any galaxy. Within your skull, tiny sparks create worlds, memories, and the illusion of solidity. Perhaps reality isn't fixed, but fluid, shaped by what you notice, what you believe, what you imagine. It feels like you are not observing the world, but gently painting it as you look. You breathe slower now, and your awareness stretches into the quiet spaces between thoughts. Here even time begins to lose its grip, flowing not forward, but all around you. Moments fold like silk, overlapping in ways your waking mind rarely feels. You imagine time as a river that you can drift through in any direction, past and future blending into one current. Each ripple of thought carries the echo of something you've already lived, or something you've yet to dream. You recall the strange ideas whispered by scientists and philosophers, that reality could be a simulation, a cosmic play of code, not made of metal or machines, but of pure mathematics, energy, and pattern. Every photon, every atom, every heartbeat could be information woven into an infinite digital tapestry. If that's true, then consciousness might be the true screen, and your awareness the light that makes it glow. You smile softly, because somehow, even that feels beautiful. The thought that you are light observing itself. The air around you grows softer, gentler, almost alive with quiet movement. You can sense unseen vibrations, the low hum of electromagnetic fields, the whisper of quantum particles dancing. They shift in and out of existence, as if deciding whether or not to be real. Each particle blinks like a thought appearing and disappearing in the mind of creation. You realize that everything, from a grain of sand to a sunrise, might exist in that same fragile flicker. You imagine the ancient philosophers who wondered if life itself was a dream. They sat under candlelight, gazing into shadows, asking if the dreamer ever truly wakes. Perhaps the dream continues, layer after layer, world within world, mind within mind. And you, floating between thought and sleep, may be one of those dreamers, watching another's dream unfold. The thought feels soft and endless, like being held in the palm of something infinite and kind. Beneath these questions, a deeper calm begins to spread through you. It no longer matters whether this world is solid, simulated, or softly imagined. It simply is, unfolding, breathing, shimmering in quiet harmony. Every molecule in your body, every photon in your eyes, participates in the same beautiful illusion. You feel at peace with not knowing, because the mystery itself is a lullaby. You let your thoughts wander to the smallest scales of existence, the quantum fields beneath everything. Here, particles appear and vanish, like raindrops forming in a cloud of probability. Nothing is truly certain until it is seen, and even then, it might change again. Reality listens to observation, like a gentle musician adjusting the tune of a song you hum. It makes you wonder if awareness itself is the thread holding this delicate fabric together. Far away, galaxies spin quietly, vast and unknowable. They seem both real and unreal at once, distant yet reflected in your own atoms. Each star you imagine could be a thought in the mind of the cosmos, flickering in the dark. You drift among them now, unhurried, breathing in their ancient light like perfume from eternity. The line between dream and reality fades until there is no need to choose one. Somewhere deep inside, your heartbeat syncs with the pulse of unseen forces. You feel the earth beneath you, steady and slow, turning beneath an ocean of stars. Its gravity, its warmth, its rhythm, all part of the same grand illusion of being. Yet illusion does not mean false. It means alive, ever-changing, woven from awareness and wonder. You let yourself drift through that realization, neither clinging nor searching, simply floating in it. The night air grows cooler, softer, and quieter. Each breath you take feels like you're breathing in a dream made of starlight. The world hums faintly around you, the sound of everything existing all at once. You don't need to understand it. You only need to feel it moving through you. The edges of thought blur again, and you sink deeper into that cosmic calm. As you drift, you begin to sense that maybe reality doesn't exist outside you at all. Maybe it unfolds within, like light reflected in an endless mirror of awareness. Each moment you experience is a ripple in that mirror, soft and fleeting, yet profoundly beautiful. You are the dreamer and the dream, the question and the answer, all dissolving into one vast stillness. And as the silence deepens, the universe seems to breathe with you endlessly, softly, without end. You imagine yourself standing at the edge of something vast, not a place, but a feeling. It is the quiet threshold between what you can see and what you can sense. Here, the familiar world softens around the edges, and the unseen begins to hum. You can almost hear it, a low vibration beneath reality, subtle and eternal. It is as though existence itself is breathing, slow and patient, waiting for you to listen. You close your eyes and drift into that rhythm, letting your thoughts grow weightless. Every sound fades, replaced by the faint echo of energy moving through everything. You begin to imagine the hidden patterns that underlie the world, invisible threads of connection. They link the stars to your heartbeat, the tides to your breath, the atoms to your dreams. All of it woven together in a web so delicate that only stillness can reveal it. Some say these threads are quantum fields, invisible oceans where every particle is a wave. They shimmer beneath the surface of perception, vibrating with endless possibilities. Every moment, reality chooses one path from countless options, like a drop falling into water. You imagine those ripples spreading across space and time, gentle and unstoppable. Perhaps your thoughts, too, are ripples, small waves in the vast sea of being. You picture this quantum ocean stretching beyond the stars, calm and boundless. Its surface sparkles faintly, a tapestry of energy that holds galaxies in delicate balance. Even the emptiness between worlds isn't truly empty. It hums softly with potential. Particles flicker in and out of existence, appearing only when they're needed, then fading again. It's a dance of appearing and disappearing, like fireflies in an eternal twilight. You drift further into this thought and feel how deeply it connects to everything alive. The same patterns that weave the stars also shape the rhythm of your heart. Every beat is guided by electrical whispers, the same language the universe speaks. Your body is not separate from that grand conversation. It is part of its music. You feel yourself glowing softly inside, a small constellation made of warmth and wonder. You imagine the forest at night, trees swaying gently under the weight of starlight. Every leaf breathes in the same invisible particles that once drifted through a dying star. The soil beneath your feet remembers them. The air around you carries them. Even your breath is a quiet continuation of cosmic memory, recycled through wounds. Nothing is lost, only transformed, only whispered forward in the story of matter. The thought soothes you, like a lullaby written by the universe itself. You begin to see the illusion of separateness fade, replaced by quiet unity. Everything, light, sound, touch, emerges from the same underlying current. It moves through galaxies, through oceans, through neurons, through the soft rhythm of your sleep. It does not hurry, for it has nowhere to go, It simply is, always and everywhere. You imagine the night sky again, filled with countless suns, each one a note in a cosmic chord. They vibrate together across light years, unseen yet perfectly in tune. Their gravity, their radiation, their pulse, all part of one slow, endless harmony. You are listening to it now, not with your ears, but with the quiet inside your soul. It hums gently, like the Earth's magnetic song that no human voice can ever quite mimic. As you drift deeper, even your thoughts begin to move in that same rhythm. Ideas rise and fall like waves, without urgency, without meaning to control. You realize that consciousness itself may be part of the same hidden field. A sea of awareness connecting every mind, every moment, every dream. You float within it now, weightless, carried by something that feels both infinite and kind. You sense patterns within your own mind, fractals of thought, spirals of memory. Each one reflects a larger symmetry, like galaxies spiraling within your neurons. It feels like waking inside a dream, made of geometry and light. The borders between the self and the universe begin to soften. What you call you dissolves into something larger, yet tenderly familiar. You imagine sound waves traveling through the air, invisible, gentle, full of purpose. They touch your ears, your skin, even your heart, without ever being seen. So it is with everything. Unseen forces brushing against your life, shaping it softly. The same way the moon guides the tide, unseen yet deeply felt, pulling you inward. Reality, you realize, is more like a feeling than a thing, something you move through. Your awareness drifts again, carried by the soft current of that realization. The world feels slower now, like a candle burning in a room with no wind. Light bends, shadows stretch, and time becomes soft as fabric. You could reach out and touch it, the flow of moments gliding past like silk. Every second feels infinite, suspended in a calm that doesn't need explanation. Perhaps you think what you call reality is only one melody in a vast composition. There might be countless others, humming just beyond perception, waiting for you to hear them. Each dream, each heartbeat, each flicker of light might be a note in that endless song. And maybe you are both the listener and the composer, creating as you drift. Every breath becomes a verse, every thought another vibration in the symphony of everything. You can feel the edges of your body dissolve into warmth and stillness. It's as though your atoms remember their true form. Not solid, but radiant, alive. Every cell glows faintly with the memory of the stars it came from. You are not just in the universe. The universe is breathing quietly within you. Its heartbeat and yours merge until you cannot tell them apart. Somewhere, a faint shimmer of energy moves, maybe a particle, maybe a thought. It ripples outward, touching galaxies, clouds, oceans, and quiet, dreaming minds. No distance is too great, no silence too deep. Everything responds, everything resonates. You are part of that motion, small yet infinite, still yet endlessly connected. And as you float within that truth, the boundaries of reality fade into something softer. The air grows cooler. The stars hum quieter, and your breath slows to match their rhythm. You are suspended now, not falling, not rising, simply resting within the pulse of existence. The world feels lighter, as if its weight has melted into luminous air. You no longer need to ask what is real or unreal. Both are part of the same endless tide. And as the silence deepens, you drift a little further into the unseen heart of everything. You drift into a thought so wide, it feels like floating between stars and silence. Reality itself seems to blur, as if it's exhaling slowly after holding its breath for eternity. The edges of things, light, shadow, sound, begin to melt into one another. It's in this soft between where you start to sense something deeper, something timeless. A quiet awareness, older than the universe, humming beneath everything that exists or dreams. You imagine this awareness as a sea without waves, vast and unmoving, yet endlessly alive. It doesn't shine or whisper, it simply is. The still center of everything you've ever known. Every star, every thought, every flicker of emotion rises like foam on its surface, then fades, dissolving back into that deep, endless calm. You begin to understand that what you call you may be one of those gentle ripples. As you breathe, you feel the motion of that great sea within your chest. Your lungs expand like quiet tides. Your thoughts drift like clouds reflected on its surface. You are both the observer and the ocean, both the dream and the dreamer. This realization doesn't startle you. It soothes you, like remembering something long forgotten. You realize that existence is not a puzzle to solve, but a rhythm to rest within. You imagine the moment before the first stars were born, the silence before light began. There was no sound, no form, only energy waiting, suspended in a perfect balance. Then, like a sigh, creation began. Hydrogen, helium, fusion, and fire. From that quiet explosion came every pattern, every atom, every future sunrise. And perhaps, hidden in that fire, was consciousness itself, flickering awake for the first time. You drift through that newborn universe, soft and luminous, feeling its warmth ripple through you. Particles dance, collide, and cling, forming matter, worlds, and the space between. You sense that even now, that first energy has never vanished. It flows through everything, through starlight, through trees, through your beating heart. You are made of it, carried by it, and forever returning to it. Your thoughts begin to float like lanterns on a slow, moving river. Each one drifts outward, glowing softly, carried by the invisible current of awareness. You don't chase them, you let them go, watching as they merge with the horizon. The river is time. The lanterns are moments, and you are both, the current and the light. There is no rush, no destination. Only the steady unfolding of everything that ever will be. You imagine walking through a quiet forest at night, the air heavy with mist and memory. Every leaf reflects faint silver light. Every breath carries the scent of ancient rain. You can feel the earth breathing beneath your feet. The pulse of life, deep and steady. Each step you take dissolves into moss, into soil, into the heartbeat of the planet. It feels as though the forest itself is dreaming you, not the other way around. Somewhere far above, galaxies turn in slow spirals, their arms glowing with billions of suns. Each one moves not alone, but guided by invisible gravity. A soft, cosmic embrace. The same gravity that pulls stars together holds your feet to the earth. You are woven into that same dance, from the smallest atom to the grandest constellation. The whole universe moves as one great body, and you are its quiet breath. You let your awareness expand further beyond galaxies, beyond the edges of perception. Space itself stretches before you, vast yet intimate, like the inside of a dream. Here, reality feels soft and porous, shifting with every thought you have. Maybe consciousness doesn't live inside the brain, but everywhere, diffused through existence like light. You drift deeper into that idea, feeling it cradle you in invisible arms. Your breath slows. Your pulse syncs with something vast and immeasurable. You begin to feel not like a person, but like awareness wrapped in warmth. Thoughts fade into silence, replaced by a deep listening, not to sound, but to stillness itself. It's the same stillness that lives in the space between stars, between heartbeats, between dreams. You rest there, untouched, timeless, watching reality shimmer and unfold like a gentle wave. The illusion of separation fades completely now, leaving only one endless field of being. You can no longer tell where your body ends or where the world begins. You are the air you breathe, the light you see, the thought you are thinking. Everything is motion, everything is rest, everything is one. You drift through this realization as easily as a feather drifts through air. A single photon passes by, a small pulse of energy traveling through endless night. It brushes against you, then continues, carrying your reflection across the cosmos. Somewhere, it will touch another world, another eye, another dream. And in that instant, it will carry your presence with it, infinite and invisible. You realize that even the smallest moment of awareness ripples forever through existence. The stars around you dim, not fading, but blending into the dark fabric that holds them. Even darkness feels alive now, soft, protective, endless. It isn't the absence of light, but its resting place, the place where dreams return. You float within it, neither rising nor falling, simply part of its quiet pulse. It feels like home, though it has no walls, no sky, no end. Time slows until it becomes indistinguishable from stillness. The boundaries of thought melt into the vast, weightless calm that surrounds you. There is no before or after, no here or there. Only this vast awareness breathing gently. You could stay here forever, suspended between light and nothingness, between knowing and peace. And as your consciousness softens, you drift deeper into that silence, where everything begins again.